South Africa happened to be a coelacanth, which was thought to be extinct. These animals called lobe fins. So coelacanth was called as a lobe fin. They evolved into the first amphibians that lived both on land and water. There are no specimens of these left with us now. However, these were, and these were they are referring to lobe fins. These were ancestors of modern day frogs and salamanders. We've studied frog and salamanders, example of amphibian, right? The amphibians evolved into reptiles. They lay thick-shelled eggs which do not dry up in the sun, unlike those of amphibians, right? So they show a degree of evolution over the amphibians. So reptiles will lay eggs which are thick-shelled and they don't dry up in the sun like those of the amphibians. Again, we only see their modern day descendants, the turtles, the tortoise and the crocodiles, right? The modern day descendants of these structures. In the next 200 million years or so, reptiles of different size and shape dominated on Earth. With respect to plants, the ferns, giant ferns, pteridophytes were present, but they all fell. Matlab extinction, please. Not actually in the practical sense, please. They all fell to form coal deposits slowly. Some of these land reptiles went back into water to evolve into fish-like reptiles probably 200 million years ago. That is example given is ichthyosaurs. The land reptiles of course were the dinosaurs, and the biggest of them was Tyrannosaurus rex, which is more popularly known as T-Rex. Right? I think we have image of the T-Rex also in the previous pages, I think so. नहीं उसके सबसे आगे एकदम पहले स्टार्ट में पेज नंबर 130 है शायद 130 ना. हाँ 130 पे देखो. Can you see the T-Rex which has evolved from Brachiosaurus? The T-Rex was carnivorous and the Brachiosaurus was a vegetarian, right? A herbivorous था वो. ठीक है. The T-Rex was about 20 feet in height, huge, fearsome, dagger-like teeth. About 65 million years ago. This is a very important step in the timeline. The dinosaurs suddenly disappeared from Earth. We do not know the true reason. Some say climatic changes killed them. Some say most of them evolved into birds. The truth may live in between. Right? Again, he is trying to be a little philosophical. Right? He does not know what is the actual event which has occurred. Now, if you look at the same diagram, वो Tyrannosaurus वाला, I had pointed out one animal amongst them was Archaeopteryx, which was thought to be a connecting link between reptile and birds. The first mammals were like shrews. So now, पहले invertebrates का बात हुआ, फिर then you gradually became to vertebrates में आए, vertebrates में jawless fish वगैरह आ गया पूरा. Then you came to the reptiles, amphibians, birds आ गया. Now you're talking about the mammals. So I hope the sequence is understood, please. Right? So your timeline should indicate the sequence, please. So that is when all the facts along with their dates and years will be remembered properly. Okay. The first mammals were like shrews. Their fossils are small sized. Mammals were viviparous, protected their unborn young inside the mother's body. Mammals were more intelligent in sensing and avoiding danger at least. When reptiles came down, extinct. Okay. Mammals took over this earth. Obviously, uske pehle the dinosaurs were the dominant species. The dinosaur was a giant reptile. Right there. See, domination is not in terms of number. Domination is in terms of qualitative domination. Today, we are the dominant species, yes. Because we have domesticated plants, we have domesticated animals, they are under our control. So we are dominant species, not in number. Number में तो 1% के भी नहीं हम लोग तो. You know the highest number belongs to arthropods. Amongst the arthropods also the highest number is insects. Again, so all that is known. Mollusca comes second. Right? So number में नहीं, यहाँ पर you're talking about dominating in terms of quality. So when reptiles came down, mammals took over this earth. There were in South America mammals resembling horse, hippopotamus, bear, rabbit, etc. Due to continental drift, again event which we have learned in geography in lower standards, right? Some pieces of land came together, some pieces got drifted, right? So इसमें what is saying that we were having North America में, right? Now in South America, mammals resembling them. अब वो North America से join हो गया. You know the geography, North and South America, they are joined by that stretch of Panama. When they are coming together, obviously the North American animals access मिल गया South America से, तो competition बढ़ गया. On competition में, it is survival of the fittest now. So these animals, they got extinct. But the same continental drift was responsible for isolation of Australia. Australia as a piece of land got isolated. So वहां पर जो पाउच मैमल थे उनको कोई कंपटीशन नहीं था, तो वहां पर अडैप्टेशन आराम से हो गया, उनको कोई कंपटीशन फेस नहीं करना पड़ा. So because North and South America came together, वहां पे कंपटीशन फेस करना पड़ा. ऑस्ट्रेलिया अलग हो गया, वहां कंपटीशन फेस नहीं करना पड़ा. ठीक है ना? Due to continental drift, when South America joined North America, these animals were overridden by North American fauna. Fauna means animals, as when you refer flora and fauna. Okay. Due to the same continental drift, pouched mammals of Australia survived because of lack of competition from any other mammal. Lest we forget, some mammals live wholly in water like whales, dolphins, seals, sea cows. Evolution of horse, elephant, dog, etc. are special stories of evolution. Now, why do they mention these three in particular? Because especially horse, when evolution is taught at higher standards or learned in special क्या बोलते हैं research topics, horse finds a very special mention, because whatever the stages they predicted for the development of the horse, they have found corresponding fossils for them. So they project evolution of horse as a very strong evidence. इसलिए जब भी evolution की बात करेगी ना, तो evolution of horse has to come, right? I am surprised that they didn't mention the entire stages of the development of the horse here. According to the people who back evolution, horse in the earlier stage was a dog-like structure, small, but gradually it evolved to the current structure, right? It was called as a Eohippus. जो dog-like structure था ना, उसको Eohippus बोलते थे, और जो current structure है उसको Equus बोलते हैं हम लोग, EQWS, right? The genera is Equus. If you see, all the horse-related sport events are referred as equestrian events because of the term Equus. Okay, so these find very special mention when you are discussing evolution, because उनके सारे data उनके पास है, इसलिए. The most successful story, however, is the evolution of man with language skills and self-consciousness. Obviously, language skills helps in communication and development of society, and self-consciousness is obviously awareness of self and awareness of environment. A rough sketch of the evolution of life forms, their times on geological scale are indicated in figures 7.9 and 7.10. So now the next topic is learning the geological time scale, right? Geological time scale. We did come across a small mention that the geological time scale is divided into eras, periods and epochs. Bracket में आया था starting में ना? So we have to first learn what are the eras, how are the eras subdivided into the periods, and the periods subdivided into the epoch. Because in diagram 7.9 and 7.10, both have been mentioned, the eras and the periods on the left hand side if you see. ठीक है ना? What happened to you searching for that sentence? Eras, epoch, period वाला. Okay. Right hand side पे ही. It is there. Don't worry. I promise. Got that? Okay. give me a moment, I'll just switch my slide. Just a moment now, please. Okay. I said the entire time period from where nothing was existing to the current times right now, you have the following eras. The first was Azoic era when nothing was existing. So that the term itself is explanatory, Azoic. No living structure was existing, Azoic era. Please, I'll tell you how to write it, please. I'll tell you how to write it. उसके बाद Archaeozoic, then Proterozoic, then Paleozoic, Mesozoic and Cenozoic. So current era is Cenozoic. Now if you look at 7.9 ka diagram, there are only 3 eras mentioned. From top to bottom, if you see, Cenozoic hai, Mesozoic and Paleozoic is there. So you know how to write the sequence. Paleozoic ke niche you just mention Protero, below Protero mention Archeo and below Archeo mention Azoic. So the eras will be read from down to up. So can this be a case for the descending and ascending type of question? ठीक है ना? ठीक है? Clear? So the eras will be Azoic, Archaeozoic, Proterozoic, Paleozoic, Mesozoic and Cenozoic. Right? The 7.9 diagram is mentioning only these 3. ठीक है ना? Now if you look at 7.9 में की diagram में, the eras are referring to the periods also. Can you see the era got differentiated into periods? The Paleozoic is mentioning Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous and Permian. बराबर है? In that order, right now? This is the first time I've said properly in the order. मैं हमेशा भूल जाता हूँ. उसमें क्या? Happens. So then Mesozoic है. Mesozoic में you have Triassic period, the Jurassic period and the Cretaceous period. बराबर है? 3. And last में Tertiary and Quaternary. ठीक है? अब go to 7.10. 7.10 is mentioning only periods. Left में देखो. Can you see it mentioning only periods now? So please write the respective eras for them in 7.10. So tertiary quaternary जो ऊपर लिखा हुआ है will be Cenozoic, Triassic, Jurassic and Cretaceous would combine to become Mesozoic, and the remaining mentioned would come under Paleozoic. So obvious है कि these 3 eras are finding mention in the NCERT, so questions will be with respect to these 3 eras only. See, the first stumbling block is to remember which term is an era and which term is a period. ये पहला ब्लॉक है. ठीक है ना? Now for example, when you are doing the Mesozoic era, now Mesozoic era is the age of reptiles. Reptiles were dominant. सुन लो पहले, सुन लो. Mesozoic era was where reptiles were dominant. और उसमें से भी dinosaurs were dominant in the Jurassic period. the Jurassic period. अब देखो, because of that series of Jurassic films coming, the Jurassic word is very much associated with dinosaurs. So the question if it is asked, which of the following eras did we find dinosaurs dominant, उसमें ऑप्शन में अगर Jurassic दिख गया ना तो वायर हिल जाता है. But the word in the question was era. हाँ, so Jurassic is a period, not an era. The answer would be Mesozoic. आई चलिए कहाँ मिस्टेक कहाँ होगा? So we associate Jurassic, हाँ डायनासोर जुरासिक बिंदास. See, to understand 7.9 and 7.10, we'll have to use a little bit of tact. थोड़ा सा we'll have to just be a little smart here to understand how to study these two and how you can extract questions from these two diagrams. सबसे पहले you can have directly the diagram, and instead of the eras of the period you can have labeled ABCD and you can have appropriate options given in the 4 places below. ये एक टाइप हो गया. Second, ascending descending type question हो सकता है. That means if you have to learn all of them in order. That is number 2, right? Number 3 is for respective. If you see now again in the 7.10 diagram, against the period they mentioned the years also, million years. So that can be a third type. See, I am just giving you pointers into how to proceed to study this entire 2 diagrams, please. So the first would be to learn the names of the eras. Second, in each of the respective eras, what are the periods, right? For 7.10, against which of the periods the respective years. The third. ठीक है? Now if you have a look at, ये थोड़ा सा ड्रामेटाइज किया है इसको थोड़ा सा, कुछ नहीं, ठीक है ना? I'll show you what is this. ये देखो, Paleozoic, Mesozoic, Cenozoic. Paleozoic में NCERT starts from Silurian, not the Ordovician or the Cambrian. यहाँ पे Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous, Tertiary, Quaternary. I hope both the diagrams are there side by side. It's good that they are on adjoining pages only. Please keep both the diagrams available to you. Okay, 7.9, 7.10. Have a look at 7.10 and look at where they have mentioned as dinosaurs becoming extinct. Where they have written that it is becoming, not the diagram, extinct. Is it between the Cretaceous and the Tertiary? That means Jurassic में वो dominant थे, लेकिन जैसे Cretaceous period start हुआ, उनका extinction start हो गया, period start हो गया. It is not as if one fine day they got up and became extinct. ऐसा नहीं, ये gradual हुआ, लेकिन somewhere between Cretaceous and Tertiary the extinction was complete. What did you read earlier? Reptiles जैसे गए. Who took over the earth? Mammals. When reptiles came down, mammals took over the earth. So यहाँ से the rise of mammals will start. Which era would that be now? Cenozoic. Cretaceous और Tertiary के यहाँ से ही बीच में the 7.10 diagram is mentioning reptiles extinct, dinosaurs extinct, right now? So please understand, sometimes the question may be a little misnomer. ध्यान रखो please here. They will tell you that reptiles got extinct at 65 million years दिया हुआ है. अगर year के फॉर्म में है तो बहुत easy आंसर है. But one question that come across was mentioning an option called as KT junction. KT junction. Believe me, मैं पागल का ढूंढते ढूंढते. फिर मुझे एक रेफरेंस मिला कि Cretaceous is sometimes written with K also. So this is the KT junction. And then I refer to 7.10 because the extinction was showing between Cretaceous and Tertiary. इसलिए ये जो पॉइंट जहां पे एक्सटिंक्ट हो उसको KT जंक्शन बोलते हैं. मिले ऑथर तो पता नहीं क्या करते उसको. समझ आ रहा है प्लीज? हाँ, 7.10, refer 7.10 only. See, the entire story is starting from the early reptiles. Left hand side नीचे एकदम देखो please. Early reptiles. The early reptiles are branching into two: sauropsids and synapsids. Trace synapsids. Synapsids will lead you directly to mammals. Synapsids will lead you directly to mammals. See the upper. यानी all the other ones, right? Birds से लेके to the extreme left, that is turtles or tortoise, whatever is mentioned, is coming from sauropsids. You see the branching of early reptiles. They are into two: sauropsid and synapsids. Synapsids का ट्रेस करो आगे mammals तक जाएगा, और sauropsids अलग अलग ब्रांच के थ्रू बाकी सब बनाएगा. Okay? यानी if you trace birds or the crocodile or the snake, ultimately it brings you to sauropsids only. So reptiles, right now, developed into birds, right? Ultimately coming here. ठीक है? Now, in the line from early reptiles to mammals, you can find two structures. One is pelycosaurs. Right now, can you see pelycosaurs? And the second one is therapsids. See, again I am talking about sequence. Early reptiles, pelycosaurs, therapsids, mammals. The dinosaurs were the giant reptiles, but उसके छोटे forms, the miniature form of these reptiles like crocodile, turtle, tortoise, they are existing today. It is not the dinosaur branching which leads to man. Dinosaurs are into the small version of reptiles. ठीक है? So that is how you will take up the 7.10 वाला paragraph. Come to 7.9. 7.9. Right? Give me a moment, please. Okay. Now see, this is talking mainly about the evolution of plants. Right? Zoosterophylla. Remember Zoostera? Hydrophyte. Right? The seaweeds. They are Silurian. Now you will have to take up the plants against the period in which they are appearing. Now उसमें mainly the questions have been centered around progymnosperms. If they are progymnosperm means early gymnosperm. Will gymnosperm come under seed bearing plants? Spermatophyta, na? Spermatophyta includes both gymno and angio. So early gymnosperms are finding evolution. Starting point is Devonian period. Seed bearing plants are starting. कहाँ मिल रहा है start तुमको? Devonian में मिल रहा है. Then the entire thing emerges from a structure called as Psilophyton. Psilophyton say you are having horsetail. What is a horsetail, anybody? Ferns. Pinopsida. देखा? Synopsids दिखा है. Ferns are there. Ginkgos. Remember ginkgo? Ginkgo biloba. Gymno लेकिन वो fossil वाला. Okay, living fossil. Conifers. Again gymno. Nettles and cycads. Again gymno. Cycas is gymnosperm. Right? So all these. ये क्या है? Xbox. नहीं, I don't play. ये कहाँ से है? I don't play this. सच्ची. कुछ बटन प्रेस हो गया क्या? Windows? Will I press it again? ठीक है. मैंने कुछ भी नहीं किया है. I think Gamebox controller there in Windows ना. सब मालूम है. Okay. Again, now if you see dicots, see now from seeded plants only you have development of these dicots. Dicots are appearing in late Cretaceous or early Tertiary, right? Obviously, the latest ones are the angiosperms. The latest plants are the angiosperms. Now, angio may be. Have a look at dicot and monocot. Which are the recent ones? That means out of dicot and monocot, which are the more advanced ones? The monocots are the more advanced. The more recent ones are the monocots. And we've been living with the thought that dicots were better. Right? So, this comes into the Cenozoic era or the Tertiary and Quaternary period. Right? The only thing which I am worried about is when you label a term as an era or a period. That is where maximum mistakes occur. ठीक है? Epochs count have mentioned. They don't find any mention. I'll give you the epoch if you want. मुझे क्या है, मैं तो दे देता हूँ. ये देखो. The Paleocene, tertiary में epoch है. Paleocene, Eocene, Oligocene, Miocene, Pliocene, Pleistocene, Holocene. These are the epochs. So we are right now in the Cenozoic era, the Quaternary period, and the Holocene epoch. This is our current standing right now as of today. The Cenozoic era, the Quaternary period, and the Holocene epoch. These are current. लेकिन but ये NCERT में है नहीं, तो I can't really ask the question based on this. Okay, but yes, Quaternary definitely yes, and Cenozoic definitely yes. ठीक है? I'll be sharing this document with you. उसमें there is one image, ये वाला. Now this is a ready reference है एकदम. Direct MCQ solve करने के लिए image दिया है मैंने. Okay. Every particular era or a period is associated with the dominance or extinction of a particular organism. जैसे we did mention Mesozoic as age of reptiles, उसमें से भी Jurassic was golden age of dinosaurs. Specifically, ठीक है? See Cretaceous, can you see extinction of dinosaurs? और Paleocene में origin of primates. Origin of primates. So as the reptiles came down, mammals evolved. Right? Or mammals, they started with primates. Obviously, you know that mammals they come under the order. नीचे mammals के नीचे you have order Primata. Can you see Eohippus appeared? That is the first fossil-like structure. Okay. So Pleistocene was the ice age. Cenozoic is the age of birds, mammals, and angiosperms. Right? Paleozoic में Devonian is golden age of fishes. Carboniferous is golden age of amphibians. Now ये सब direct questions हैं. These questions can come as direct questions. Right? But since NCERT में नहीं है, तो of late we don't have any possibility of these. But still, the document will be shared. You can use it to solve the questions which they come across in NTG, Aryan, wherever it is. Right? Now? नहीं, I will not give. Don't worry. No, don't worry. I will not give. But in case you come across questions, you will be stuck at that. Right? So the lesser questions in the doubt solving, the better. Isn't it? So I hope 7.9 and 7.10 can be tackled, please. हाँ देखो. 7.9 से mainly जो है ना, जो seed bearing plants है, angiosperm वाला है, gymnosperm वाले हैं, कौन से directly periods में evolve हुए बस, और कुछ नहीं. Yes sir.
So to define the end of periods or eras, we use extinction and dominance of organisms.
Come again, I beg your pardon.
To define the ends of periods and eras, we use extinction and dominance of organisms.
Of organisms, yes. Yes, that is what is present in this document. No? Okay, but इसका possibility of coming is very less. Yes, Mesozoic can be asked because a lot of Mesozoic image में भी Mesozoic दिया हुआ है. So Mesozoic age of reptiles, Jurassic golden age of dinosaurs can be asked. That is a possibility. Cenozoic age of birds, mammals, this is a possibility. These three are very genuine possibilities. Since epoch नहीं है तो this column becomes redundant now for us, right? They have mentioned ice age, but they have not mentioned Pleistocene is the ice age, right? Even while describing evolution of man, they have been very, very selective, as we will see in the next paragraph, right? So I think so when you look at the paragraph and the relevant information, or maybe when you come across questions which will require to refer this diagram, maybe more idea about how to study these two diagrams will be more clear, right? I gave you maximum amount of possibilities how the questions can come from these two diagrams, right? Okay. Going to the last part, 7.9 now of your NCERT, evolution of man. Yes, please. Geological time scale clear हुआ? हाँ? Relevant, whatever is required for us. Origin and evolution of man. About 15 million years ago. Now, before I do evolution of man with you all, to make things a little easier for us, right? I have divided the evolution of man in 4 stages. The ape stage, the ape man stage, the primitive early man stage, and the modern man stage, right? And uske samne I have allotted the stages which have been described in the NCERT. Right? So after we finish this discussion, you make a note of this. After we finish the discussion, and if you can relate to the relevant category, please. Okay? So about 15 billion years ago, primates called Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus were existing. So do we have Dryo and Ramapithecus existing? Okay. They were hairy and walked like gorillas and chimpanzees. They were hairy and walked like gorillas and chimpanzees. Now, is there a difference between the walking of gorilla, chimpanzee and man? If so, what is the difference? See, we are all blessed with 2 pairs of limbs, forelimbs and hind limbs, but we are bipedal. We walk on 2s. The normal animals are quadrupeds. They walk on proper 4s, but the gorillas and chimpanzees are somewhere in between. See, gorillas and chimpanzees, do they have a drooping posture? Yeah. See, understand why they have a drooping posture. For us, the foramen magnum is located at the base of the skull. So the spine is erect. So that gives the erect posture to us. But in gorilla chimpanzees, the foramen magnum is the back of the skull. You know what is foramen magnum, no? Just the spinal cord emerges out, right now. So the direction which the foramen magnum emerges will allow the direction of the spine now. So अगर ये पीछे की तरफ है, the spine will be a little drooping. The vertebral column is a little drooping now. So that gives a slouch posture now. Now the slouch posture, उसमें भी on the length of their forelimbs is bigger than the length of their hind limbs. So if you have a slouch posture and you have the hind limbs being shorter, forelimbs, so forelimbs touch the ground. So do they walk with their forelimbs touching the ground? So they are called as knuckle walkers. They are called as knuckles. They use their knuckles, right now. So they are not exactly quadrupeds, not exactly bipeds. So they are somewhere in between. So they are walking like gorillas and chimpanzees. So if that was the case, then were they ape-like? They are ape-like. Ape is the closest to man. The ape is the closest to man. Right? We are blessed with 46 chromosomes. 48 for them. Ramapithecus was more man-like and Dryopithecus was more ape-like. Dryopithecus ape-like, Ramapithecus man-like. So I have called this ape-man structure. Few fossils of man-like bones have been discovered in Ethiopia and Tanzania, Now we'll discuss that diagram separately. If I forget, please tell me. 7.11 is remaining. Huh? Just have to point out 2 facts from the same. These reveal hominid features. Hominid features. Does man belong to family Hominidae? याद है कि नहीं? Animals में family का suffix DAE है. याद है वो first chapter वाला table किया था हमने? Housefly is Mucidae. Right? Man is Hominidae. Animals में, plants में family is ACEAE, Fabaceae, Solanaceae, Liliaceae, Brassicaceae, etc. Okay? So, hominid features leading to the belief that about 3 to 4 million years ago, man-like primates walked in Eastern Africa. Primates, right? Mammal class में